Well, happy Monday. So I'm going to say one thing. When the going gets tough, the tough get going. We've heard that our whole life. Well, I guess I have. I guess I'm just sharing with you something I hear and I assume everybody hears. When the going gets tough, the tough get going. How does that make you feel? What happens when the going gets tough for you? What I found, and what I'd love to muse over here in the next few minutes, is when the going gets tough, do you run away or do you run into it? Do you run from it due to fear, due to all those things we tell ourselves in our head? Or do you run to it? Do you run to the lion? Meaning, are you running from the lion? Because we create, right, volcanoes out of anthills. And the things that we're fearing the most, and when the going gets tough and we feel we're getting beaten up and overwhelmed, it's so easy, right? I mean, I'm human. I've been there so many times. It's so easy to just think it'll go away or push it away or shove it under a carpet or think that tomorrow will be better. Well, actually, tomorrow will be better because I do believe that this too shall pass, but it doesn't help and it doesn't happen by running away. I just want you to muse on this thought for today. Are you willing to run to it and run through it? Some of the best growth I've had in my lifetime have been from the deepest, darkest, and most horrific trials and tribulations that I've had to face. And I share this with you. Most people out there, and if you're listening to this, you're somebody I totally cherish, adore, and feel very privileged that you follow and listen. But most people don't know my story. I don't know, maybe someday it will become more prevalent and I'll start sharing it, but I do always want to be honest. And I have to tell the truth. And life isn't a bed of roses. No, it isn't. But I do choose to see life through my rose-colored glasses. And I do choose to not run when the going gets tough, to run away. I figured the hard way was that the further I would try to push things away, and when everything seemed to be crumbling and I would look up and say, why me, I can't take it anymore, it was by not shoving it away, but it was by facing it and facing the adversity and the uncertainty and the trials and tribulations that I can honestly tell you today, I'm alive, I'm here, and I am so darn proud of who I am today because I built character. I learned so much about what I'm capable of through some of the deepest, worst times of my life. And I'm not saying you have to go through the fire to come out completely refined, which of course I do believe, though, that you do have a choice. Do you let your trials refine you or define you? And I say that very, very, not lightly. I say that very profoundly because I think nobody's life is going to be perfect, and we're all given opportunities to really, to have to endure, to have to hit that place of, I just can't take it anymore. But when you hit that place and you look back on those times, as you're musing on this right now, go back. Think back on some of the toughest times you've had to face. What are some of the biggest challenges you've been through? I don't know what yours are. I mean, it could be divorce. It could be terminal illness. It could be losing somebody you care about, that you love. It could be that you faced an addiction. It could be many things. But I just ask you, look back on those times and look where you are today. There's something about you. You overcame it. You worked through it. Whether you ran from it for a while, I would have to beg to differ that the reason that you are here today and that you can be proud of who you are and what you gained through that process was because at some point you were willing to face it head on and you were willing to grow through it. So when the going gets tough, stop running away. Run to it. Run through it. You are going to come out on the other side a magnificent and brilliant and amazing person. And I am not going to say that the trials and the fires aren't going to be feeling like you are in hell, because they will. But when you're willing to face it and move through it, amazing things can happen for you and, frankly, for everyone around you. So that's what I want you to think about today. Instead of apologizing for those times or shaming yourself or putting it under the carpet, take a few minutes alone today or tonight or tomorrow and think back on some of those things that you've overcome, the challenges and the obstacles that you've overcome, the hurdles you've overcome, the trials and tribulations that are now triumphs. They're triumphs because you did something. You fought through it. Do it. And then sit back and give yourself a little credit. No, actually a lot of credit for what you've overcome and where you are today. Because that's what makes you magnificent. That's what makes you spectacular. That's what makes you this strong, courageous, tenacious, fortuitous, and persevering person you are today. And I don't know if you've heard this quote before, but I'm a firm believer. I read it, and then I was shared it, and I wish I could tell you exactly where I heard it, but it's not mine, but it hit me. The 5 people you choose to spend your most valuable time with will be an indication of who you will become. So start spending time with people that truly bring out the best of you. Start spending time with people that don't pull you down, but that lift you up. Start spending time with people that have shared values, that have shared interests. Doesn't mean they have to be the same, but it gives you a common place to work from. And then when you're going through a tough time, you have people that are by your side. They're your balcony people. They're the people that are going to help pull you through. And my biggest challenge to you right now is go be a balcony person for somebody else. Be that person that's willing to be there to lift them up and help them fight through the next trial that they're facing. You might be the only person that was there for them when the going got tough. Have a great week.